Hey, what's up? I'm coming to you this Monday to bring you some awesome news that Trailer Park Boys has been renewed for an 8th season, but even better, it is coming to the internet, and it is being produced right now, as we speak, I think, by the stars of the show. If you don't know what Trailer Park Boys is, it is a Canadian sitcom that ran a little over the last 10 years. I think it started in '01 or something. There were a total of 7 seasons, and towards the end it skipped a couple years, I think, with the network picking it up again. And eventually, after the 7th season, they wouldn't pick it up anymore. But the thing is that the 3 main stars of the show, John Paul Tremblay, Rob Wells, and Mike Smith, who were completely tired of dealing with networks criticizing the way they wanted to do things. They felt very cramped as far as the content they wanted to make. Being able to curse and do other potentially controversial things, which is understandable for the networks, but they felt very restricted by it. So they decided to go over to the internet and also more easily reach an international audience, which was a little tougher for them before. Trying to get on American television, trying to negotiate with American networks, they say was very hard. And instead of having to deal with all of that all over the place, they just have their own network now online, which is called SwearNet. And very aptly named for these guys. But it's a subscription-based thing, like a monthly subscription, gets you access to everything they have. It's mostly comedy, and they say that it also has news. I'm not on there myself, but since they've had this thing as a platform for the last 3 or so months, I think, what they've done now is actually purchased the show that they were mainly known for, Trailer Park Boys, which is probably at least as far as I know, the most successful Canadian TV series ever, at least on an international scale. They have fans all over the world. They've had support for their live tours where they've gone all over the world, and now they're taking that show to the internet, and it's pretty much the biggest crossover I think I've seen, because you already have Larry King had retired from television, but he now has a live broadcast on YouTube on his own channel. And Norm Macdonald did as of several months ago, and his stuff is pretty good. He has his own talk show where he's had on Simon Helberg, and that's the only one that comes to mind off the top of the head. But and the bottom line is you have such big crossovers like this. This is a major TV show in Canada with a huge international following. And they're now completely taking it over to the internet. They're taking over production themselves, the 3 stars of it, who are now the 3 principal creators, and they're doing it on their own way, and taking care of distribution and everything themselves on the internet, which is amazing. And I think more and more people are starting to see the potential of the internet, and it just empowers me, inspires me, because I think it's a great example of things moving towards the future, because this is the future, is things moving more towards the internet. It can be a great thing for companies. Obviously the ones that are embracing it more are dealing with it more effectively, but this is great for everyone, whether it's the corporate media groups or just ordinary people putting their content out there. But this creates so much opportunity for people, especially YouTube. It's a huge thing, but there's so many huge platforms, and it's amazing. Yeah. But I hope more and more people out there will continue to be inspired by all this, because it allows people to take care of their own production and marketing and distribution, pretty much whatever they want to. Anyone can learn all these things and do a lot of this stuff themselves pretty cheaply, much more cheaply than before. And right now I'm just making a video on my phone right now, and all I have to do when I get back in my house is just press upload, and anyone around the world can see this. And obviously that's pretty crazy, and if you look back like 10 years, YouTube has only been around for 8 years, as of just a couple months ago. And, you know, you already have quite a few people who are really making something of it, like Philip DeFranco and Shay Carl and Kasim G got together and they put together the Maker Network, Maker Studios, where they're really taking charge of their own content and exploring the potential of the internet and what the future of all this can be, because there's so much opportunity for so many people around the world to explore, and I hope more and more people will see this faster and faster and faster, that everyone has the potential to do something with this. You know, whether you want to learn something or you want to share something, you want to share your opinions on an issue, your voice can be heard. If you're a musician, your music can be heard. If you want to help people through videos, you can do like, what like Mahanomi and Leia Turunen do, and you can do comedy like Greg Benson with Mediocre Films. It's just pretty endless, and it's great to see more people doing it, because I think a lot of people put down the potential of the internet for a little while, as the idea of it being transformative to society. People seem to be getting the idea that that was just some like idealistic pipe dream, and it's really not, because it's already changed things drastically. And maybe if people don't get how big it was, maybe they were expecting it to turn the world into some kind of utopia, which is obviously a ridiculous expectation to have of anything. And you don't want to overlook the fact that it has changed so many things. You have Twitter, which has literally been the vehicle for organizing all these like coups and whatnot in the Middle East, and the network Vice has been able to cover that kind of stuff within a day, and they were a magazine. Traditionally, they've been a magazine since the mid-90s, but now they're probably the best documentary network on YouTube. They have all kinds of amazing stuff. It's definitely a channel you should check out. They're definitely using the internet to put out some really cool stuff, and you'll get some really raw kind of stuff that you won't see elsewhere. But, it's just another instance, and there are endless examples of what companies and individuals are doing to explore what can be done with all this. And I'm just vlogging, and, maybe someday, well, I already have people who say they relate to what I'm posting, but, hopefully it'll really benefit people in some major way someday. I know that my goals are primarily tied in with the internet. My life goals are all about the internet, and seeing other people do a lot with it is really inspiring for me. And if you take a look at all the platforms that are out there, you can see that whatever you're passionate about, or just your professional life, whatever, there are more ways that you can find to enhance it beyond just like having a Facebook account just to keep in touch with people or whatever. All these technologies have a lot more power than is typically being tapped into. And it's gradually getting there, but it's up to every individual to be able to do this. And the amazing thing is, anyone can. Basically, the limits of your imagination define everything you can do with the internet. Some of it may not be immediate, because some of the platforms don't really exist in necessarily the ideal way yet. But, just look at YouTube. This is an amazing thing that I'm reaching you right now. And that, a TV show like Trailer Park Boys could just completely cross over to the internet. They chose to do it on their own network. I mean, we'll see, you know, how it'll work for them. I think they would do a little better on YouTube, but it's great that people are exploring other options than just using YouTube for everything. You know, there is Vimeo and Dailymotion. A lot of filmmakers use those too, like indie filmmakers and whatnot. But you know, just keep your eyes open with it, because it's going to keep evolving faster and faster, and the more people take an active role in it, the more it can empower everyone out there. And it's just going to be more and more mind-blowing, especially if you take the time to stop and appreciate it, because it is really crazy. I mean, if you look back, really, you know, I think people take these technologies for granted, not because they're being snobby or whatever, but just because we just get so used to it as it comes so quickly. You know, having a cell phone, you know, that it's already like an older cell phone from like 10 years ago would be already seen as like a piece of junk, but that's still like, you can call someone from wherever you are. And by you know, anyone who, you know, I'd say anyone who's at least in their like late teens can remember a time before phones, you know, I mean, or before cell phones. I definitely remember when, you know, you had to wait till you got to a house phone. You know, if you were, if you got stranded on the roadside, you started walking and hoped there was a gas station somewhere. You know, it's already changed so much. So I just want to encourage anyone who sees this video to really push whatever that can be for you, because that's definitely what I'm doing, and I'm really, really stoked about it, you know. And me just vlogging like this, you know, is a huge part of that we can do that. And, you know, maybe not many people are going to watch this. Probably not many people are going to watch this. But, you know, it doesn't really matter, because anyone can. And it's just my random little memoir, you know, of thoughts on my mind at this time. That's kind of a time capsule, and, you know, may inspire someone and might get someone's gears working and realize, like, hey, I really can do something with YouTube. And I definitely, well, I mean, not just YouTube, but the internet, you know. I guarantee you that there's a lot it can do to improve your life. I guarantee you. And I challenge you to figure out what that is. You know, it might not come to you right away, and it may not be obvious at all. You really have to think outside of the box to be able to do it, and, you know, that can be tough. You know, a lot of these things really aren't on surface level, especially if you're not really used to it. You know, my generation is particularly savvy with it because we remember what it was like before the internet became really big, but we still pretty much grew up with it as it got more and more sophisticated and powerful. So we have a good feel for how to kind of move things over, you know. But, you know, anyone can do these things, even if it's not easy for you to figure out right on the surface. Just keep your eyes open to everything that is going on in the world, and especially on the internet, that you can learn pretty much anything you want, and you can share pretty much anything you want. So just look for that. I know I'm babbling a little bit right now, so I'm gonna go and yeah, stop getting bitten up by mosquitoes. Later.